Hey guys, welcome to another video. It's my third video today. Some days I just feel like making a lot of videos, and so I'm trying to do a better job of scheduling them out. So on the days I don't feel like making videos, there's still something for y'all to tune into. But it's really been a heart healing day for me. It's very interesting. Since I got home, I've been having this combination of things happening, like this really deep heart pain coming up, but also a lot of unconscious resistance to it. It's like I can feel my heart chakras like closing down. And I don't know, the mind can go in all these different directions when we're experiencing difficult sensations or blockages in chakras, right? And so I don't know if it's like a heart blockage. It does feel like partially a heart constriction, or if there's just, the heart's still open, but there's just so much coming up that it's just really feeling congested. And so this has been a theme for the last few months for me, going through just a deep heart healing. But it seemed to really things started to change a bit with it since I got home. And I don't know if it's the land I live on, here in southern Colorado, in this valley that I live in, where maybe the energies are really focused on heart healing and bringing up deep material from the subconscious, or if it's just because my body feels deeply at peace here. So because I feel so safe here, repressed unconscious energies are able to come up more fully, like repressed wounds and pain. Because it actually has the feeling I get when I go home for a while, and it's just me and my parents, and then all of a sudden after maybe a week or so, or maybe just a few days, I feel a bunch of stuff from childhood coming up. And it's really, really intense, and it just feels like so much pain. It's like almost feels impossible for me to process it. It feels like that much. And so that's what I've been going through today. Just feeling a bit overwhelmed with material in my heart to kind of digest and move through, and being willing to feel it on a conscious level. And the hardest part about this actually isn't really the emotions or the pain or the wounds coming up. It's the unconscious resistance to feeling them, because that creates a lot of pressure and tension in the body. Because on a conscious level, it's like, yeah, I'm ready. And of course we can say this, but when it comes to it, are we really ready? But I feel very ready to meet all of this unconscious pain, right? I feel very ready to feel through it. But there's just these, like, you could say the super ego or the psyche is kind of putting up roadblocks and is gripping and is saying, no, this is too much to feel. I don't want to feel this. And so I think that's where the heart chakra contraction is coming from. It's coming from that super ego that's trying to protect and is trying to be like, no, it's literally going to kill us. That amount of pain and heartbreak will kill us. And so that's actually the most difficult part, is being with that resistance and being with that kind of sense of stuck energy. Because it's like, because that part is gripping, that energy, that pain isn't able to flow through. And so it just kind of builds up in the heart center, and you can almost feel like you're going to explode. And so this requires like a lot of patience, a lot of tenderness for the one within us that's gripping, that feels afraid to feel this pain, or that's convinced that this pain is going to be too much to feel. So I've just been, being with that part of myself. It's always like we want to be with the top layer and meet what's, most up at the surface. And if that's resistance, then we work with the resistance. And then as the resistance falls away, we can start working with what's under the resistance and start being with the deep wounds and the deep pain. But today has just been kind of that inner conflict of that inner fight of that pain really wanting to come up to be felt because we're at home and we're feeling safe, but certain aspects of us not actually feeling safe enough to feel yet. Like on a conscious level, you know, you could have like whatever, a vast majority of yourself feeling, you know, uh, at peace enough, relaxed enough to feel the deep pain, but there can still be these parts in you that they're just not there yet. So it's been interesting, and it's been difficult, and it's like, you know, feeling that stuck energy, just energy not moving, and sometimes the healing journey looks like this, where we just kind of gotta cultivate this sense of patience and unconditional love for all aspects of ourselves, and for this process, even when it's really grueling and tiresome. I mean, I took a long nap today. I've been eating quite a bit. It's a very taxing. It can be very exhausting on the body to be moving through the deep, dark shadow. And I think I'm getting into some just gnarly abandonment wounds, wounds that stem from rejection, and, you know, just these wounds that didn't get what they needed on deep levels. And so these can be scary to feel. And so that's why there's going to be resistance, and that resistance can cause pain, because then there's energy wanting to flow, but it can't. And there's not much you can do about it. You know, you can see healers, you can breathe love into it. You don't want to force, you don't want to push with these parts. You want to bring tenderness to them. They're scared. So we just want to, this is actually where we can cultivate a deeper sense of unconditional love. And this is actually where we can soften at new depths. Because it's actually through softening into density that a real power comes online. This power that can embrace anything. This power that has the capacity to be with anything. And it's actually counterintuitive. The more you soften, the more you start to, the more your strength comes online. Your strength to be with difficult sensations. And so that's really what I've been feeling, that my heart center calling forward in me is just, can you soften into this? Can you soften into the resistance? Can you soften into the stuckness, the heaviness, the density? And as I've been softening there, recognizing that something within me here is absolutely in love with what's here, with what's arising. Something today, I was thinking I was running an errand or something. I recognize something in me is in love with even this, and how the divine was challenging me. It was like taking me to my edge of like, hey, can you love this too? And in a way that's bringing on more love in my system, you know, so that there's love for every single sensation, for every single part of me. Can you fall in love with the one who's gripping and contracting and causing so many problems and causing the stuckage or the blockages or whatever? Can we fall in love with that aspect of our psyche or superego? And it's like, that can be a tall order, but my goodness, it's like that kind of love is what's called for here. And that's the opportunity here. Anytime you're in a difficult energetic scenario, there's always an opportunity for you to grow in strength, to grow in love, to grow in your capacity to soften into difficult emotions and energies. So I just have, you know, it's been tough, but I feel like I'm growing in love, growing in strength, growing in patience. And yeah, these things will move through on their own time. But it has been interesting to notice, I think coming into the valley here where I live, it's like a lot started coming up because, oh, we're coming back home. Oh, it feels so good to be safe. And when you relax, you're back home or whatever the situation is. And like more can come up or tends to come up to be digested. And this has been a theme since I moved here. It's been really a lot coming up, and then a lot parts of me gripping and fighting it. And so, just talking to kind of other artists and creative people here, they've kind of mirrored some of the alchemy I'm going through, and they've talked about how when they first moved here, they really went through things that were really intense. And so it could be part of the healing here. I know there's a strong Native American spirit dwelling here. there's a really profound history with Native Americans here that I don't know the details about, but energetically I can kind of tune into it. That might sound quite silly to some of you, and that makes sense. But that's kind of how I take in information energetically and psychically a lot. Yeah, and I just want to see if, so that could have an impact too. I could be going through some kind of deep, dark night of the soul healing here too. It's been really intense. Let me see if there's anything I wrote down today in my notes that I really want to, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I write stuff down and it just doesn't feel that alive when I go back to read it in the video. Oh, I did do some automatic writing. I was like, why am I feeling this here and where I live on this land? And I put, why is my heart chakra closed? Sometimes I'll just ask a question to my higher self and just trust that it'll come through with something. And it says, your heart is closed because deep material is coming up. It's been in there the whole time. This is your home, meaning here. Embrace the depth and the sadness. So I think a deep sadness is coming up. And I was really questioning that today. My mind was telling me things about maybe this land, maybe it shouldn't be here or something. And it was nice just to write that. What I knew was true. It's like, yeah, this is my home, but it can be difficult. Where we're called to can be places that are going to bring up our deepest wounds, and we might want to run. We might be called into a relationship or a job, some type of situation. It's like the divine's going to orchestrate things to help us get in touch with the wounds that are deeply repressed within us, because everything within us wants to be felt, acknowledged, seen, and transmuted or integrated. And so what is left in you to feel, and the Divine Mother, she knows what's left in you to feel, and she's going to take you right into the circumstances and the situations so that those feelings and emotions can be felt. And I feel like that's why I've been taken here into this valley in Colorado, is because it's helping assist with my ascension process. It's helping assist with the alchemy that's ongoing in my body of transforming this human body into a divine body at some lifetime, right? During some lifetime. But we're on the journey. We'll get as far as we can with this body in this lifetime. That's why I'm here. And maybe some of you can resonate with that. It's like, I'm here to transform, to evolve, and to upgrade this consciousness. And not only to upgrade this consciousness, but to literally upgrade this animal body. And so the divine's going to take me to the perfect places, put me in the perfect relationships and connections, and give me the perfect work to usher in this transformation. So wherever you are in any of those dimensions, it's absolutely perfect. And ultimately, you're not here to always feel really good or to get what you want from an egoic perspective. You're here to anchor light. You're here to clear shadow. You're here to transmute old pain and wounds. And this can be ancestral. Like the deep heartbreak I'm healing right now. Yeah, some from childhood, some from heartbreaks I've gone through in my kind of adolescent and adult life. But a lot of this heart wound stuff, I'm getting some chills, this could have just been passed down to me. Big heart wounds in my genetics, in my DNA, in my cells. It doesn't necessarily have to be a story about this lifetime, and it could even be past life. So I'm in the process of clearing something really big right now. It's been a few months of it. And you lose track of getting to the other side, or I want to, it's just you fall in love with healing itself. You're not trying to get anywhere with it anymore. Of course, certain parts of your psyche and mind are doing that because that's just their nature. That's the ego mind. Wants to feel good feelings and avoid feeling pain. Chases pleasure, runs from pain. But the deeper part of you and of myself actually is here for the process of healing itself, is actually in love with transformation, is actually not trying to get anywhere, and is actually exactly where it wants to be when it's clearing a really deep heart wound. There's something really beautiful about it and fulfilling on the deepest levels. So my sense is, if you're watching this, you came here to be a divine alchemist above all. You didn't necessarily, like I said, come here to feel good all the time or have all of your egoic desires fulfilled. You came here to get what you really want, which is learning who you really are and being a conduit of service for the Most High. And that doesn't always look pretty. And it might be quite triggering even for others to witness. But that's okay. You just keep walking forward in your truth. And like one of my favorites, Yash says, you and God are the majority. And when you learn that, and when you experience that, that's when you start to connect with this kind of unstoppable will, this unstoppable spirit, this unharmable aspect of yourself that just keeps going forward no matter what. That's all we really have to do, guys. It's just one step in front of the other. Trusting, surrendering, opening, and softening. Okay, I hope this helps. Been posting a lot. Yeah, I've been posting some Patreon content. You guys might like it. Keep doing that, I presume. I also offer one-on-one sessions for those of you in this alchemical process. And yeah, I think that's it. Sending you guys so much love. See you in the next one. Namaste.